stream, it don't matter what race or creed or color. You love this land and you're my brother. That anyways, you know your stand. If you say you can't breathe, I'll show you we can. Ain't never gonna stop believing. We were born for freedom. We were born for freedom.
We were born for freedom, dreaming, going against the stream. Don't, oh God, I got a green Swisher Sweet. I got a green wall, and I need some green. I need some green. Welcome, everybody. Wait for a couple minutes for people to come in. So if you're here from the gram, where I have my series, exclusive series called Thirst Traps in Therapy. I started kind of as a blog to document my non-THC journey. And I might as well just tell y'all, I stopped for 7 months, and then I smoked with my coworkers at the beginning of August, and now I got a quarter. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. I've got to get back to managing my anxiety without this. But I'd say 7 months is a pretty long stretch for me, considering I've been smoking since I was 14 years old. And believe it or not, guys, I used to be smart. Like, I used to be really, 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 really smart. Like setting the curve on the finals, smart. Like learning Latin, smart. Like in the debate club, smart. Like used to be good at math, smart. Physics, science, all that shit. And then came sex, drugs, rock and roll, and the kitchen. You know, and workaholism, not alcoholism, workaholism. And then I did that for 20 years. And now I'm trying to figure out, what is my place in the world? I know what my purpose is, but where is my place? You know, am I the commander? Am I the lieutenant who supports the commander? That's kind of what I feel like I am. Am I am I an alpha female, or am I a sigma female? Sometimes I don't know. I just don't know. All right. While I'm breaking this up and waiting, we'll wait 5 more minutes or so for more people to come in. I don't usually stream at this time. I wish I could stream on a schedule, but when you got as much going on in your life as I do, it's kind of hard to do that. I mean, I guess I could dedicate a time. I mean, I used to try to, but that was like back when I was traveling and shit, so that never worked out. And then I forgot that it actually helps get people in when they know you're going to be on. But anyhow, I just got off work. I don't care what I look like. I don't care what I look like now. We got other shit to discuss. Follow me on Instagram at RedPillJenny. Twitter, Rage Red Pill. It's switched backwards. TikTok, if you choose to accept it. At Not Red Pill Rage, Red Pill TV, at protonmail.com, Gab, Rumble, and Truth Social. I am Red Pill Rage. It is fundraising week, and I got a $60 donation last night, care of the Fat Jew, my best friend. But we need to get some more donations in, okay? I am trying to give you even more value and even more incentive and make sure that you have even more fun at the party. Because I figured, maybe we could have a little, little blackjack game, if you're down for it. I figure all the donors, maybe we could have a little blackjack game. So I've got chips here. Let me get Jew's chips out because he gave us a nice fat donation. Okay, these are $20. The reds are $20, so he gets 3 of those. That's for the fat Jew. Okay, I've been practicing my shuffling. Okay, fingers are definitely not as thin as they used to be, I can practice my shuffling. Let's see what else. Totally 80s party. Okay, it's going to be lots of fun. And we still need to figure out who we're going to have as our guest host. We've got a few possibilities. We've got Red Pill Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. Red Pill, we could do Red Pill Madonna. I could call her up and see if she's available. Or if you'd like to see me speak in an English accent, we could do Red Pill Downtown Julie Brown. We could do that. We have options. So make sure you get your donations in. Okay, if you'd like to hear the story of who we are donating to and why we are donating, you can visit www.defendzach.com. I would prefer that you send your money through Cash App. That all the money on both platforms actually goes directly to his wife to pay for things that they need, legal fees, all kinds. It's fucked up when the alpha male head of the household gets locked up for basically no reason. And meanwhile, Antifa walks around continuing to wreak havoc in multiple cities across the country, actually across the world. There's Antifa in Germany, and there's Antifa in England too. Just saying, like these commies are everywhere, man. These fucking commies are everywhere. Let's wait a couple more minutes. So yeah, he's in jail, never committed a crime in his life, a veteran, a man of God, a man of principle, a man who loves his family very, very, very dearly, a man who is a proud father of 2 daughters, one of which he has never actually been able to hold or hug or kiss because COVID restrictions in the prison, or should I say the gulag. It's bad, guys. I'm going to play you we're going to do another Boondock Saint episode because Epoch TV has a really good one with, I think, the founder or the leader of the Oath Keepers. And then there's also a really good one they did a couple months ago on Ashley Babbitt's birthday. And maybe we could listen to that as well. Okay. So there's going to be some depressing discussion. But we have to be there for each other. And we're also at the party. We're also going to take some last minute donations for Mr. Joe Biggs, who is an individual that you see in the very beginning of it's an individual that you see in the very beginning of my video. I met him in Florida. We met at AmpFest. And then we hung out in Daytona like a couple weeks later, I think. And I've been unattentive. I've been unattentive to the dozens and dozens and dozens of other boondock saints who are sitting in pretrial detention, political prison. Okay. I've been very unattentive, and that is something I want to hold myself more accountable for. It's not that I don't care, it's that I care so much that it hurts my heart to even expand upon everyone's life who's being destroyed and the families that are being completely crushed as a result of their family members being in pretrial detention gulag. Okay, it's not that I don't care, it's that I care way too much. And this shit literally hurts me. It hurts my heart, it hurts my soul. I bear the pain of trying to tell these stories of these individuals. I bear the pain so that you don't have to. And I also bear the pain so that you don't forget. If there's one thing I can applaud Brendan Straka on doing at CPAC, I can definitely applaud him for bringing attention to everyone who's currently in the gulag. And I wish that there had been a greater there was a really good response to his speech. There was a really good response to the booth that Walkaway put together. Come in. Hey.
You want smoke?
Oh, I was about to.
Right on.
I was about to. What you got?
Just a joint.
Sativa or indica?
I don't even know. My friend just gave me this one.
Is it the same batch as the other night?
No.
Oh, yeah. Then I'll smoke it. Yeah. I think the other one was indica because I was tired. Yeah. Here.
You like roll little mini blunts?
Like kind of like to cut them in half?
No, like what you got there?
That's a mini blunt? Oh. You are stocked.
You're one of each.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Yeah, that's how I get down.
I love this. I think I might have had this one. You know, a lot of people in Oakland smoke these.
I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of people in Oakland smoke these.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
You're from Cali?
Yeah, I'm from Cali. These are made in Irvine, so these are made in Orange County. But a lot of people in Oakland smoke these too. You'll see these at the shops. Hold on to it.
I've got
Ooh,
one
I
there.
like this.
Yeah, so the safety coordinator at work, I hooked him with some net shop shit, and I was like, it was like $150 worth of shit, but it would have cost me like $300. I was like, dude, just hook me up with some shit, don't give me cash. And so I got him his shit at wholesale, so he basically gave me like $300 worth of shit that only cost him $150, and he threw in those little like 3 or 4 of those pre-rolls, and I like them. They're good. And I think you have a new boyfriend, by the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's really, really interested in whatever you're doing. He just sat and whined at my door for like 2 or 3 minutes. I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" And then like I let him out, and like he ran. He stopped right there, and then went right for your door. I was like, "Oh."
Well, just not. I used to have a cat that would run away and get out all the time. But here's what he would do. He would go hang out all over the building. I was living in a loft back then. Go literally hang out at everyone's door. And then when he was done, he would come home. He would knock on the door. So we're going to train Cash to do the same thing.
Cash is sweet and affectionate, but he's not super smart. I kind of like him that way, though. Cash, you my little dummy. The thing I love about him, though, is he eats once a day.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he eats, he poops like within the hour, and then I let him out in the morning when I get up.
That's all he needs.
Yeah.
Easy, yeah. My boyfriend's dog doesn't eat that much either, so he poops. He'll wait till he goes on his long walk at the end of the day.
I have to make sure that he doesn't get into their. Well, Emma makes pretty damn sure that he doesn't get into their food, but he's sad. If like he's gonna have a significantly decreased lifespan if he doesn't. If he eats as much as he wants to. One thing that drives me nuts is Emma always eats on the trash, and I don't know. I'm thinking that she probably protects all the good shit because that's how she is, but and doesn't cash out any of it. But I have no idea what he eats whenever nobody's here. Emma eats some trash.
Well, yeah, Emma got into that Taco Bell trash. So I think I got most of it.
I picked up a whole bunch of it, and
the rest was under the table.
Well, then I was like, okay, I need to go wind down for a second. I got high. Then I got high.
This is actually really good. I'd be interested in that.
I will ask him what
Sorry guys, sorry. Okay, I'm back. I didn't even have to roll this up. Anyway, what was I discussing? We were discussing the Boondock Saints. So I'm really happy that Bro will be attending the party. You guys are going to have so much fun with him. He is so funny. He is so cool. He's like, in a lot of ways, he's kind of like the male version of me. We have a lot in common. If you guys like me, you're going to love Bro. Gonna love Bro. And Brios. Got this one. Roommate. Okay, cool. So yeah, I want to be more accountable. I think it's one of those things that because there's so much to talk about and it feels like we're fighting battles on every fucking front, whether it be the education, public education, the media, the bagels, the banks, okay, the cartels, all right, the pedos. We're going to call them Chesters on this channel. Okay, the Chesters, we've got fucking a culture we're having a cultural fucking meltdown. Nobody wants to get along, it's just nobody can be cool about anything anymore. Nobody can hold their tongue. Nobody could just shut the fuck up. Nobody could let it go. We've got a lot of mentally ill, toxic people on both sides that we're dealing with right now. We got rhinos, okay? We've got midterms. We've got, each and every one of us is suffering financially. So, it's a lot. It's a lot to try to keep the memories alive. And I'm saying it like they're dead. I mean, I don't mean to say it that way. I hope no one's like, well, I don't care if you're offended, but I didn't mean to say it like they're dead. But you have the memories of loved ones who used to be free and now they're in jail. And it's fucking, it creates fucking PTSD for us too. Not on the same level, not on the same degree. We're not the ones who are foregoing our freedom, or not foregoing our freedom, but we are not the ones without our freedom. So for us, it's like a nightmare that you wake up to every single fucking day of them not being here, them not being free, things not being the way they used to be, and knowing full damn well things are never going to go back to the way they used to be. Right? That's fucked up, right? It's hard on us too. So the fundraiser is to remind Zach's wife that she is being taken into consideration as well, and that we see her pain, we understand her pain, we empathize with her pain, And the last thing that we're ever going to do is not take care of them at least every couple of months. All right. So I need you guys to break me off, but you're not breaking me off. You're breaking off his wife. And that, do not take that. Do not misinterpret that. Okay. There's certain, frat boys who don't like me no more. Okay. That's fine. I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. This isn't about you. This is about the wife and the baby. So, do you keep your opinion to yourself? Because I don't give a fuck. But most of them still like me. The old school ones who were like in it before 2020, they like me. The newer ones, they don't like me. And that's fine. They don't know me. How can you? You can't make a judgment about people either way, not knowing who they are. I'm going to tell you guys, the shit you see on the internet is not the way it really be. Motherfuckers out here be lying. They be lying about what they do for a living. They be lying about how much money they have. They be lying about how much money they got coming. They be lying about their past. They be lying about their baby daddies, baby mamas, how many kids they got. Like, man, I've met so many fucking liars in my life. And online just makes it even easier to scam people, because now people don't really have to see what kind of person you are. They don't really have to see how you live. They don't really have to see how you operate under pressure. They don't really have to see the way you operate when you're having conflict in real life with other people. They don't really see what your house looks like. They don't really see, the way you behave when you don't get your way, or when you're not the center of attention, or when you feel threatened, or when you feel triggered, even as a patriot. Motherfuckers are just gonna, motherfuckers are not self-aware enough. And I try to be really self-aware. At least I know I'm rude. But I've never been so rude to people to even remotely deserve the shit that has come my way. I have never been that fucking rude to anybody. Maybe I set a boundary. Maybe I voiced some, maybe I voiced being upset. Maybe I didn't say everything in that moment, maybe perfect. But if I was a fucking good friend to you, and I have one blowout over something that I think is serious that you fucking did or are doing, or that isn't right, or isn't considerate, or isn't fair, or isn't whatever it needs to be, okay, then I'm the fucking enemy of the state, right? Then I'm enemy of the state. This is how it is for me. And you know what? The common denominator is me. Okay? So I'm trying really fucking hard to be nicer. I'm trying really fucking hard. And sometimes people make that impossible for you. So like Dr. Jordan Peterson says, we all need to be warriors in a garden, because I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Okay. And sometimes people, you just got to let people know what time it is. And if they get mad, if they hate you, then you just deal with the consequences. But man, people are so fucking like people don't even want to try to communicate, I'll give a motherfucker closure. Like there will, if I exit the situation, there will be no question as to why I'm gone. If I say peace out, you will get closure. You will get closure. Okay. If you want it, I'll give it to you. And most times I try to be mature and I'll give it to you anyway. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes the lesson that I have to teach is that you're not even worth closure. When it gets to the end of the expiration date or past the expiration date, and you still give it another 2 weeks because those things are slightly off and that the food will generally still stay fresh. Okay. Once you've hit that 2-week past the expiration date mark, that's when you got to chuck it, you know? And I give motherfuckers chances. I like to let people autocorrect. Like, people think I'm controlling. I'm not. I'm not controlling. I don't want to tell you what to do. I don't want to have to fucking babysit. I don't want to give instruction. I want to I'll tell you what we need to accomplish, and you do what you feel to contribute to that, and I'll contribute the rest. Whatever you can't do, I'll do. But you got to try. Like, people go from 0 to 60 over dumb shit because they're toxic and they mean well, but they don't know how to manage their emotions. And I guess maybe, well, not maybe, but I guess for a long time I didn't know how either. A lot of it comes down to, for me, it just comes down to picking battles. Like, it's choices. It's all about choices. You know, I always try to weigh out what is the lesser of all evils. What is the lesser of two evils, or all evils, or whatever the evils of are the options that are available at the moment. Okay. I'm so overly considerate of others that I burn myself a lot. I burn myself a lot because of people that I choose to let my guard down for, or people that I think that I've built a rapport with when really they don't give a fuck, you know? And that's okay. A lot of people did not, they probably don't understand themselves, and that's why they can't understand other people. I think that's what if you really like narrow it down, I think that's what it is. They don't know themselves. So learning the depth, and sometimes, like, when I say depth, I don't mean like, okay, 3-hour fucking spiritual ass conversations. I'm not talking about that kind of depth. I'm talking about depth in terms of seeing how people move and seeing how people function through their lives and through the world. Like, are these people who put in effort? Are these people who try? Are these people who ask the right questions? Are these people who explore different solutions? Are these people who do due diligence? Are these people who check, like, when you're going through the drive-through, are these people who like open the bag and like check to see if all the food is in there, and some fucking napkins and a straws and ketchup? Like, are these the people who like check the bag to make sure everything's in there before they hit the gas pedal? Or are these people who just grab the bag and hit the gas pedal? That's one of, like, to me, that's one of the most, like, that's one of the quickest ways to tell what kind of person somebody is the drive-through McDonald's test. Okay. Or the drive-through Wendy's test, or the drive-through Jack in the Box test. You will know everything you need to know about somebody by whether or not they make sure that napkins and the sauces are in the fucking bag before you leave the store. I promise you, that is the best way to find out what kind of person somebody is. That's the best way to find out if they're lazy or thorough. That's the best way to find out if they're observant or don't care. And that's the best way to find out if they're willing to take an extra second to pay attention to a detail that might need to be paid attention to. That's how you're going to know what kind of person somebody is. If you know anybody who does not check the bag for napkins and condiments. That ain't nobody need to be in your life. I promise you. I promise you that. Excuse me. Ragers, that is the test. That is the test. Okay. Hello. Oh, hello. So what did you think of Biden's speech last night? Do you think I listened to it? I was asleep. Yep, he will be lying about everything, go out and spread rumors about people, then not even bring proof to substantiate it. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else. I was gonna do, hold on. Friday vibes. Okay. I was actually gonna do a watch party. We're already 31 minutes into the live stream. Make sure you guys watch this tomorrow. Hello, Brian Renard Davis. Welcome. It's good to have you here. We've got new people, so we should attempt to look our best. I figured it out. Okay, so when we when the light is on, it's a little, oh shit. No, I still got Terminator 2 face. Okay. I think red is it. Red, yeah, red is it. Okay. Look our best. Okay, hold on. Oh shit. We're still testing. We're still in the fuck. I gotta sit all the way back. We're still in the testing phase. So we're figuring it out, Brian. But thanks for hanging in. If I have to, okay, hold on. If I have to keep adjusting the settings, it's going to be different in different light, right? Ooh, disappeared. Came back. Disappeared. Came back. Peekaboo. Where are you? All right. Seems like 4950 is exactly where it needs to be, but I gotta keep my head like all the way back. Let's try 47. No, that's fuzzy. 48. That's still a little fuzzy. I don't know. Like maybe it depends on the type of day. Hold on, let me. All right, how's that? Okay. Oh, okay. All right, there we go. So here's the cutoff. All I have to do is turn the ring light all the way down to the lowest. Here, let me sit back. I got to turn the ring light all the way down to like the lowest brightness. Okay. I don't know. We don't have to do a watch party. But the reason I wanted to do it was because I was thinking about how it's so funny that anybody who likes Kevin Samuels or anybody who defends Kevin Samuels, like you're automatically going to get attacked. Like it doesn't even matter what you say. You're going to automatically get attacked. And so I thought it was crazy how Ollie Matthews was doing a testimonial video from somebody who had written him a letter, which is what he does, and which is how it's a very interesting format because he doesn't just talk about borderline personality and narcissistic personality disorder. He doesn't just talk about it clinically. He talks about it by relating it to his own life and then also by the people who write him letters. And so his whole channel is like a Dear Abby, except it's not a Dear Abby, it's a Dear Ollie. And one of the reasons I think I even came out of the conservative closet is because the things that he was saying about Trump back in like 2015 and 16, I didn't believe him at first. And then everything he said came true. And not only that, he had been talking about fucking pedophile rings 2 years before everybody else was. Okay? He'd been talking about pedophile rings for a very long time because he's I think he's from New York. He's a New Yorker. Okay? And he's even just working in the retail industry. He's seen a lot of shit and he knows a lot of shit. This is no kind of fucking QAnon weirdo, like conspiracy theory shit. And one of the reasons I like him so much, one of the reasons I relate to him is because for me, growing up in Hollywood, now I didn't grow up exactly in Hollywood, but I grew up right outside of Hollywood. And we had a major film studio that you've all heard of, that you all know, starts with an S, ends with a Y. We had a major studio in the city that I grew up in. Okay. So all kinds of historical landmarks and film history and all kinds of stuff has happened where I grew up. So for me, man, I know this is fucked up. I've never talked about this before. And I've always been waiting for the right moment to say it. But even when I was in high school, I had heard about a girl who got raped by not a major celebrity, but he's definitely like a D-list celebrity. Like if you didn't really know what he looked like, he could grow out a beard and wear a fucking hat and he looks like every other fucking white boy in LA. You know what I mean? But this guy's been in a lot of movies, like movies you guys know. Like I'm not talking like all independent shit. He's been in some Hollywood, big Hollywood shit too. I heard about that shit when I was in high school. So a lot of this, a lot of this QAnon stuff, it is true, but I keep trying to tell you guys, QAnon didn't, they're not the originators of this information. You know, a lot of us, whether you work in the restaurant business, man, can you imagine how many servers and bartenders and busboys and restaurant owners have probably seen powerful men in their fucking restaurants with underage girls and look the other way? Can you imagine working at one of the biggest, like Ollie, working in one of the biggest retailers in the world, and you know, celebrities do fucking come to shopping malls, okay? They do, all right? Believe it or not. I've met Ted Danson at a shopping mall. I've met Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver at a mall. I've met Kel from Keenan and Kel at a shopping mall. So motherfuckers do be coming to the fucking mall. Believe it or not, celebrities do. They do go into regular places like everybody else, you know. So can you imagine what you've seen working in retail? Can you imagine what these housekeepers have seen and heard? Just think about the fucking housekeepers and the personal drivers. What kinds of shit have they seen and heard? Just, I mean, the possibilities are endless. So excuse me, even when he was talking about John Podesta stuff, I was like, well, this ain't nothing new, because every like 13 to 17-year-old chick that grows up in LA has at some point been making out with an older man or is going to parties underage and drinking underage. There is no fucking 13 to 17-year-old girl who grows up in LA and hasn't been to a party that they should not have been at, or been driven there in a car with people she should have had no proximity to. There's not one. So I know Ollie understands this. And anyway, getting back to what, the topic is. So Ollie did a response video to a narcissistic abuse survivor. And he had only, I watched the whole thing, and we're going to watch the whole thing together so nobody takes this shit out of context. I watched the whole thing. He only mentioned Kevin Samuels' name like 3 times in a 30-minute video. And it was all kind of toward the end. Kevin Samuels was more of an afterthought for what Ollie Matthews was discussing. So something inside of me just said, look at the comments. And I don't always look at Ollie's comments, but this time I did. I was like, oh man, I could feel it. I could feel it. Something's about to pop off. Something's about to pop off. You know, when you start talking about Kevin Samuels, bitches are going to get mad. They're going to have something to say. They're going to reference that video where he said that, little girls lie about getting molested. But the fucked up part is some of them do. Women lie about getting raped, but then it fucks it up for everybody who actually experienced it, who actually survived it. It fucks it up for everybody. So trust me, we as sexual assault survivors, we understand why y'all are mad, because we're mad about it too. Can a child lie? Absolutely. Especially the more leverage that the liberals are trying to give children in terms of being able to turn against their parents, either because my mommy and daddy didn't call me the right pronoun and it's child abuse, it's mental abuse, take me out of the home, make me a ward of the state, put me in foster care so I can get on Medi-Cal or whatever the fuck your state welfare health care is, okay? Whatever that is for your state, these kids are learning how to turn on their families. I've talked about Yali Martinez before. She was a young lady who threw herself on the train tracks in Pasadena. And that was her method of being able to suicide herself, okay, unalive herself. She suffered for almost over 7 years. She suffered for over 7 years with chronic depression. And then the LGBT came in and stuck their fucking nose in it and told this girl that she was trans, told this girl that she was queer, said the reason all her sad feelings that she has inside of her soul are because she's trans. So she starts to take testosterone and her body doesn't react to it well. She becomes chronically in chronic pain. She gets chronic pain because I guess the testosterone is either growing her muscles or growing her bones or like making them more dense or something. I don't fully understand the medical side of what was happening and why she was in pain, but it had something to do with kind of like, they said that she was a very petite girl. So she was like 5'1", 5'2". You know, she was a little girl. She wasn't fucking Chastity Bono. She wasn't Bruce Jenner. Okay, she's a tiny little girl, and the adverse effects were just creating so much pain in her body. And so on top of the chronic depression, she couldn't deal with the pain, and she threw herself on the train tracks in Pasadena, California, which isn't far from where I grew up. So Yaeli Martinez died on my birthday in 2019. So every year from now on, for as long as I am not in the in the gulag with everybody else, because we're all becoming terrorists at this point, are we not? I want to make it a point to bring her up on my birthday every year and talk about the life that was lost because the LGBTQs are literally at the point where they are recruiting any mentally ill or autistic or spectrum or Asperger's or ugly or overweight person that they can find and try to convince them that the reason that their life feels so bad to them and why they feel so bad all the time, they're so upset, they're so dissatisfied, they hate what they see in the mirror, is because you are transgender. And if you could just live your pure self, if you could just live your best life and not care that you look fucking ridiculous trying to say that you're a woman to most people. Now, the problem is for most of these trannies, Decepticons, for most of the Decepticons, they're not like they were in the 80s and 90s, where they're like really spending 90 grand getting their jaws chiseled, getting the breast augmentation, getting the bottom surgery, okay, taking the hormones. Okay, some of them get their eyebrows lifted, they get cheek implants, they might get nose jobs to make their noses look smaller if they have really big, fucking masculine noses. Okay, the jawline shaving is a big one. There's even one to cover up the Adam's apple. They take like a portion of like the outside of your rib and they put it right here, so you have this permanent smooth piece of it's like a covering. Like it's like you could put like a shell. It's like a kind of like a half shell. It's like a half shell that you just put right here. And so instead of the Adam's apple protruding, it's held in by a fucking piece of your rib or some shit like that, just to make your neck look really smooth. Can you believe that shit? Okay, so the Decepticons that we knew in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, these bitches were fucking stacking fucking bread to go get 120, 90,000, 50,000 fucking like, I heard Caitlyn Jenner was she was $250,000 for her surgeries. She got the top of the line surgeon to do her shit. So you got these Decepticons out here mad, okay, and because they mad, they're recruiting the wrong people. They're recruiting motherfuckers that are just putting on lipstick and calling themselves trans. It's like, I'm gonna tell you what, if I spent fucking 90 grand on getting my jaw like getting like parts of my jawbone sawed off inside my fucking face. If I'm going to spend that kind of money and you want to run up in here talking about you a Decepticon too, because you're living your best life and some other dumb shit, like you're living your true self, bitch, no, you're not. Put 90 grand into that shit and then talk to me about living your best life. Okay? Put 90 grand, fucking prostitute yourself for 5, 10, 15 fucking years to save up 90 grand. Do you know how many beatings some of these Decepticons have taken? Do you know how many threats on their lives they have survived as prostitutes? But they're willing to do it to pay 90 grand, 120 grand to get those surgeries. And motherfuckers with beards and chest hair are coming out here with lashes and lipstick talking about I'm a woman. Motherfuckers swole as fuck, like prison swole, fucking wrestlers and bodybuilders and shit talking about I'm a woman. No, man, honestly, it's the certified Decepticons that need to be concerned about this influx and this pronoun bullshit and this teaching this shit to kids bullshit. Do you want to teach a kid, hey, you could be whatever you want. And if your parents agree with it, they'll pay for you to not be a boy anymore or not be a girl anymore. And if that doesn't work, then guess what? You can say that your parents are abusing you, and then you can become an emancipated adult with no income and get Medi-Cal, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever the fuck it is in your state. Or you can become a foster child and again get the same insurance, and we'll make sure you get whatever you want. Yeah, come over here. Come over here, little Decepticon. We will show you the way. Come over here, little Decepticon. We will show you the way. That's the fucking strategy here. So that's, I don't know. Getting back to Ollie Matthews. All right, we're already like almost an hour in. Okay. Let me leave this up and then I am going to share screen and we are going to watch Ollie Matthews in his entirety. What I am going to do to try to help you out, we're going to do playback speed at hold on, oops. We're going to do playback.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Refuge
1.25.
from Narcissism. And this refugee video is a sponsored video, sponsored by Anonymous for Kaya. And here is her story. I'd like to go by Kaya for this one. If we could tackle my mother's side of the family this time around, I think that would be a good place to start. I'll try to keep this on the shorter side for you. Next time I'll send a voice note so it isn't as much work. My mother's family is very interesting. It seems there is a queen bee dynamic happening here. My grandmother at the top, my brother and my auntie, the favorites, next. Then my mother, both the girls in competition with each other, naturally. Then my auntie's boys, and then lastly, my father and myself. I believe being the only granddaughter on both sides has been a great benefit to my mental health, seeing how I was able to completely reject what my mother, auntie, and grandmother tried to teach me. These teachings entail choosing a man for his money and using sex for manipulation. My grandmother let my mother, the oldest girl, be abused by her uncle and over from the time she was 4 into her late teens. The abuse was brutal and torturous and twisted, sexual and physical. Could you tell my mother could you tell my mother what you would have done to my father in that situation? I am strong enough to show her this, so don't hold back. Well, would have done as a father in that situation. Look, This is a sad thing that happens. You know, it happens in a lot of communities, but within the Black community, it runs rampant. It runs rampant where a family member is knowingly
Hey, Clue, by the end of the
abusing a
video,
young
we're going to get
child
to
in the
Kevin
family,
Samuels.
and the whole thing is covered up. You know, this happens over and over again, okay? And most of the time, the victim is the one who's blamed. You know, as a father, I find out somebody... It's angering and it's sad. And this is what happens. Instead of sending my mother to a child psychologist, my grandmother swept it under the carpet and to this day tells my mother to just get over it. Some things you just need to put away, Tara. What a cunt. What a fucking cunt. Dicking attention. Dicking attention, dicking attention. And keeping and not airing your dirty laundry. And not airing your dirty fucking laundry. What a dirty bitch your grandmother is. You just need to put things away, Tara. She'd say as my mother walks around with a deeply wounded inner child and a depleted self-esteem. My mother is now in her late 40s and desperately trying to find her way out of borderline hell. I'm sure you guessed by now that my grandmother is a big fat boomer, and boy is she ever. She uses her husband's money to control both her girls and enables my auntie to sit on her ass for 13 years in a row doing absolutely nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean it. And where was your father? And where was your grandfather during all this? As your mother's being sexually abused, your grandfather didn't have any idea? No, your grandmother, you know, probably another son husband, another weak man. Another weak, emasculated, unfortunately, black man raised by probably a similar woman to what he married. Too infatuated with that pussy to do or say anything about it. She has sat in her living room chair for so long without taking showers that no one will sit in it because how badly it stinks. She's almost 300 pounds and she's 5'5". She makes excuses for work and excuses for why her doctors are wrong about her health linked to her weight. She's one of those women that'll attack you for being fat phobic. My step grandfather pays for all the bills in her house, and they give her a cash allowance like $1,500 a month, roughly. She convinces them to get extra stuff for her all the time, though, expensive things like a freeze dryer. And in my auntie's defense, I will say, however, that she does have Asperger's, a serious type of socially handicapping autism. Her youngest son is diagnosed with this condition as well, but my auntie is not. We just know that she has it. Her home is full of food and cool stuff that I and my mother are absolutely not allowed to use or eat. I attempted to convince her to let me use the freeze dryer to make and sell freeze-dried candy because how popular it is right now. And she gave me a 50-mile long list of why I can't use her precious or precious this or precious that. My family has moved back from Pensacola.
I know people like that. You can't touch nothing in their fucking house. You can't touch anything in their fucking house without it being a fucking discussion, without it being a problem. And it's like this be shit that they don't even use themselves. They don't even fucking use it. They just want to own it. They just want to have it, but they don't even use it. And it reminds me, do y'all remember that episode of Twilight Zone where The old man is on his deathbed, and his like kids and shit are around him, his wife, brother, I don't fucking know. Like there's like 4 people in the home with him. And he makes them put on these fucking masks. And by the end of it, they take the masks off and they get the inheritance money because he's like this old rich motherfucker. They get the inheritance money, but their faces are permanently fucking destroyed for the rest of their lives. And there was one thing that the old man said, I think, to his grandson. He said, "You like to feel the weight of the books." I'm paraphrasing. "You like to feel the weight of the books or the bulk of the books, but you don't like to read them. You know, you like to feel the bulk of the book, but you don't like to read them." And that was that's what these people are like, you know. These people who got all this fucking stuff in their house. They got so much shit in their house, and you can't use none of it. You can't borrow none of it. You can't touch none of it. You know, even if you agree to clean it afterward, you know, they'll bitch about how you cleaned it. You know, it's so fucking draining because I don't act like that. I definitely have certain things that I don't want touched, but it's like overall, like if it's to help somebody out or if it's in common space or whatever it may be, you know, I don't have a problem like people using my shit if it's going to better their life. Like, oh, okay, you got a gig, you need one of my chef jackets. Here you go, take it. You know, thank you, Clue. Appreciate it. So clearly starting at 6 o'clock at night, 6:30 at night is not a good idea. This is like, I'm not even going to say it, but we need to get this information out. And we're going to go through this, and there is going to be some Kevin Samuels Red Pill TMZ drama. We're going to go on this video. We're going to look at what the comments are after he talks about K-Sam. You know, my feelings about Kevin Samuel are mixed. You know, I liked him. I thought he was funny. I thought he was fucking funny. I don't know why everybody got so butthurt over him. I thought he was funny. I thought it was just comedy to me. I didn't know that he was actually trying to be like a life coach or a dating coach. I didn't know that. Okay. That was just a certain component of his brand. But apparently he was like apparently in the beginning of his career, he was just all over the dudes. And it wasn't until he started talking to the women that he blew up. So I kind of understand how that feels because I started a podcast about craft beer and now I'm talking about politics. So, I kind of get it. And it's like the shit that you don't think that you're going to go viral for will be the shit that you go viral for. You know, it just happens like that. You have no control over it. So I always thought Kevin Samuels was funny. I didn't think he was being mean to anybody. I thought he was actually very respectful and tame. He just said things in a way that were so, I guess people are used to having these over-the-top emotional responses. And because he was so cool, calm, and collected about everything he said, I think that infuriated people more. And that's, you know, talking about what Ollie Matthews does, that is the hype a bitch up. Exactly. Thank you. Hype a bitch up. So I think when he talks about narcissism, there be those people like that. And you don't really see it at first. You're just like, okay, they just have some, you know, they have boundaries that I need to respect because we're all trying to be respectful people, at least in the beginning. We're all trying to be overly respectful. And with him, I think he really is always able to illustrate through these letters and through these life experiences how much we all have seen the playbook and we've seen the patterns. We just didn't know what it was called. Fat people can be narcissists, try to be a victim, make everybody around them feel sorry for them, have everybody fucking cater to them, always having Munchausen syndrome. That's covert narcissism. Okay. Nice, really fucking nice people, but needy as fuck and codependent as fuck and toxic as fuck, right? Okay. You got the people who are trying to fucking maintain their sanity by just checking out completely and never engaging in human relationships because the shit that they grew up with was so fucked up that they can't fucking even begin to cope or even begin to try to connect with others on a deeper level. You got that. There's so much. There's so much. And a lot of times when it comes to these hoarder types, the motherfuckers who are buying shit on Amazon, don't even fucking open the box, don't take it out of the box, don't have no space for it in their houses. These motherfuckers, they're hoarders. Hoarders can be narcissists. People who have a lot of pets. Ollie has said this on his channel. People who have a lot of pets can be fucking narcissists. It's not all about, oh, I'm such a nice person that I rescue all these animals. It's not always that. Sometimes it's their mentality. A narcissistic mentality is, I own this. This belongs to me. These souls, these bodies, everything around me belongs to me. I am in charge. And I got all these pets so they can depend on me so I can be in charge. People who have a lot of pets can be narcissists. Ugly people can be narcissists. Sometimes they'll play that victim martyr shit, just like the fat people do. They'll play that victim and that martyr shit just to get everybody to do shit for them all the time. Get everybody to feel sorry for them all the time. Get everybody, the whole topic of conversation. There's never no discussion of nothing significant or meaningful or deep. There's never no discussion of that. It's woe is me all the fucking time. Ugly people can be narcissists. I never knew that until I started watching his channel. I never fucking knew that. I thought only like really good looking people, because when you think about narcissism, and I just listened to John Solo last night talking about this Greek mythology. Narcissist fell in love with his own image, but it wasn't because he chose to. It was because because Echo put a fucking curse on him. That's why. Because I think, yeah, it was Echo or Psyche, one of these weirdo nymphs or muses or one of these bitches that Zeus fucked or wanted to fuck, some whacked out bitch. She put a curse on him, and that's why he fell in love with his image. He didn't mean to. He didn't mean to become a narcissist. He just was. So I think a lot of the narcissists that we encounter in our everyday lives, they don't know that they are. They don't know how toxic they are. But again, like at the end of the day, everybody's responsible for themselves. And once we start accepting that, we become less and less and less and less tolerant.
Cola, Florida this year and back to Canada, Alberta, and settled into my aunties until we reestablished ourselves. COVID fucked up our lives so badly that my father and I had work under the table for Mexican wages for 3 whole years. We were unwilling to cross back into Canada because fuckface Justin Trudeau was forcing all Canadian citizens to be triple vaxxed in order to cross into our own country. Boy, are you Americans lucky in comparison. Yeah, well, you elect Fidel Castro's love child as your prime minister, that's what you're going to get. Eventually, the communism's going to come out up there. It was hell, and we never knew when they would shut off the power, paycheck to paycheck living, but it humbled my father especially, and I learned so much as well, and we returned with that attitude in our hearts. What we were greeted with was more childish shit as expected. In preparation for our arrival, my grandmother had my auntie go to the butcher's and have a cow slaughtered for us all to eat. Guess who played the meat warden role? My fuddy-duddy auntie. Duh, here I am, the super meat warden, here to make sure you don't eat all the precious. My father and I aren't stupid enough, though, and logic always ruled over manipulation. I just asked my grandmother directly. I'd ask. My grandmother would usually say yes, and then when my auntie asked about what I was cooking, I just tell her, I asked Grandma if I could make this dish. She said yes. My auntie hates it when I outsmart her, so when stuff like that happens, she will punish me. She will punish me by being super passive aggressive, throwing attitude, or saying no to be excessively, and then flat out deny anything is wrong when I confront her and try to tackle the problem head on. The reason she won't tell me is because the reason is childish and selfish, and its sole purpose to punish and bully and demean. Well, yeah, she's a good little worker bee. Your aunt's a good little worker bee, protecting the queen bee. The worker bees protect the queen bee, whatever the queen bee is after: money, sex, attention, food. Food is a huge, huge tool for the narcissist, and especially for the queen bee. The queen bee will starve their children. They will malnourish their children. They will serve them shitty food to make them obese and then call them fat. It works both ways. There are many ways for.
Okay, so I just got to confirm what Ollie just said. I got to confirm because just like hoarders, I dare you guys to watch my 600-pound life. And yes, I know it's reality TV and it's edited and shit, and they're only showing like the worst parts. But honestly, watch my 600-pound life and watch the tantruming and the demanding that these bedridden 500, 600, 700-pound motherfuckers who can't even walk, can't even work, can't do shit except lay there and have their kids scrubbing excrement between their fat rolls every day to try to keep these bitches and these fat motherfuckers clean, not getting bed sores and shit. Okay. Watch that show and you guys tell me what kind of borderline behavior and narcissistic personality disorder you see in some of these manipulation tactics. I know, dude, totally disgusting. But again, after, I don't want to keep blowing smoke up Ollie's ass, and I'm going to send him the link to this video so you can watch it. But he really truly means a lot to me. This guy right here, man, he's opened my eyes to so many things. And it started in terms of me trying to figure out why the fuck I kept dealing with the same types of dudes over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? It started with that, but then it got into politics, like I said, and everything he predicted came true about Trump. He talks about societal narcissism, which is just a wing of communism. It's just a little wing of communism, okay? The societal narcissism, as he compares it to the stories that he reads and the personal proof, the personal receipts, the personal aspects of everything that he talks about. The parallels, the triangulation, the gaslighting, the lying, the cold shoulder, which is another term for canceling. Okay, the harassment, the depriving you of food, depriving you of resources, depriving you of sleep. That was one of the things my fucking mom did. And it wasn't until I watched Ollie's channel that I was like, wow, man, my mom did that shit too. Keeping you fucking up all fucking night, won't leave the room, won't stop bitching, won't stop talking. Just won't even like depriving you of sleep is the last resort they have before they fucking put their hands on you. They'll deprive you of your freedom, like commies. They'll deprive you of your own thought process, like commies and my mom. They'll deprive you of your autonomy, like commies. Okay? LOL, like hashtag, you know. They'll deprive you of your privacy. Hello, TikTok. I know I'm on it. They'll deprive you of your dignity. You know, humiliation is half the fun for them. They just enjoy humiliating people. And that's why they fucking do what they do and behave the way they behave and start fights the way they start fights. Oh yeah, Brian, I remember you telling me that. I'm glad you're here. So go tell Ollie that I'm making this live stream, okay? Click the link, copy and paste it, find a way to talk to Ollie. I know he's on Twitter. So go find him over there and go hype a bitch up. Hype a bitch up. All of the fucking tenets, characteristics of narcissistic abuse can be found amongst liberal ideology and certainly liberal execution and how they blackmail and control and manipulate the masses into believing into their bullshit ass utopia that they keep promising that somehow never can seem to be found in a successful manner in history, in any history that exists, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, as far as I know, if you guys know any society where communism has created the utopia that they keep promising of equality, please let me know. Let me know. Okay. Let's let Ollie keep talking.
For the narcissist to abuse you with food. They'll starve one, overfeed the other. For whichever method will be a bigger detriment to the victim. They'll either starve you or overfeed you, malnourish you, feed you shitty foods. My aunt has an older son. His name is Marek. She treated him like shit and Bible thumped him until he couldn't see straight. When Marek and Kieran
That's what my mom
were
did to
little,
me.
she'd let Kieran bite and scratch and hit Marek. If Marek fought back, Tanya would lose her mind on him and tell him a big brother is meant to protect the little brother. Disgusting to say the least. One time, this is the same shit that went on in my house when my brother was allowed to fucking, even though he was 6 years younger than me, okay, just fucking torment me. And if I fucking touched him, he'd start screaming and crying, and then it was on for me, and I was getting the shit kicked out of me and punished and things taken away from me while that little fuck stood in the background laughing. It was a game. And when my mother started hitting me, if I raised my hand to block myself, I'd be accused of raising my hand to my mother, and that's when it was get the bat, Michael. And that's when the little faggot would fucking run behind the door, my parents' door, for the Louisville Slugger. Okay. And Gary run it and hand it to my mother. Disgusting to say the least. One time Kieran bit me and latched onto my arm. I punched his little Gollum-looking ass in the face until he let go and ran to his mom, crying his face off. Marek is now deeply hurt and his self-confidence is royally fucked up. I want to be there for him more than anything. But Marek was always jealous of me, however, and chose to bully me when we were teenagers, and so our relationship is in shambles. I wasn't the nicest to him, but when we were children, I wasn't the nicest to him when we were children, but I would never do what Marek did to me, which was outright slander on a level I could probably take him to court over. To this day, Marek and I don't talk. It breaks my heart because I loved him so. When I first came back to Canada this year, we went out to dinner and buried the hatchet, it seemed. But Marek is currently in a serious long-term relationship with another version of his mother who has the opposite opinions as my auntie, but does all the same shit, including stripping Marek of his individuality by arguing his beliefs and continually tries to shape him into a person best suited for herself. I fucking hate her. She seems insecure and judgmental at the same time, which just blows my mind. And she uses my cousin for money constantly and just steers him around by the horns or by the balls. He went to college for radio because he always wanted to host his own station. She had him move back to his hometown because this girl wanted to sit around for a year or two working dead-end jobs, and of course, Marek followed suit. So I guess that is all on him. What advice would you have for him? Get away. Get away and be a man. Stop letting these women who remind you of your mother lead you around by your balls. That's what I would tell him. Because this is only going to end badly. This doesn't get better, it gets worse.
Get away.
What in God's name do I say to my cousin to stop him from wasting so much time of his precious youth fucking around with this chick? The second he has a dream, she screws it up. The second he has savings, she spends it. The second he finds a core belief, she argues it away. I want Marek to find himself. I want him to love himself. Perhaps that's the black hole I'm falling into. But he's still broken my heart. I get it. But you can't help him. You can't save him. You can't save him. Marek has a problem dealing with women. Okay, whether you're his cousin, his sister, his girlfriend, his mother, okay, he has a problem. Marek needs to hear this from a man. What I would suggest Marek do, okay, is to go on YouTube and start watching old Kevin Samuels, who just unfortunately passed away. Watch Kevin Samuels clips, okay, because he needs to hear it from another man. He's not going to buy it, okay? He's not going to listen to a female. He's just not. He's just not. And he should hear it from a black man. And the problem, the problem there is, okay, and this is what's really unfortunate, in the black community is black people don't take each other serious. You don't take each other seriously in your community. You don't. So even though there's this big, there's a big thing there. There's racism this and racism that and cultural racism and all that. Okay? All that. They will still take the word over somebody outside their own race.
Juneteenth.
It's like this. Another YouTuber who also passed away in the last within the last year, David Carroll, and he going hard, and he said some stuff I didn't agree with. But his overall thing, he was trying to wake up black men in the black community. And one of the scenarios he gave was what his father used to say when he'd tell him and his brother when he was kids. He would say, when you're dealing with black people, and he said it a lot more harshly, is what his father said, you have to keep one thing in mind when you're dealing with black people, that the white man's ice is always colder. And they didn't understand what he meant by that. What does that mean? Ice is ice. What do you mean? And what David said, he's telling the story. He's like, and I didn't understand what my father meant until I got older and started dealing, with black people, even though he's a black man. And he gave this scenario. You got four hot dog vendors. One owned by a white guy, one owned by an Asian guy, one owned by an Arab guy, one owned by a black guy. Black guy goes into the white store, says, I want 2 hot dogs and a soda. Rings it up. That's $12. Black guy, okay, hands over the money, takes it, leaves. Goes into the Korean store. Same question. My hot dogs, 2 hot dogs and a soda, $12. Pays the money. Goes into the Arab store. $12. 2 hot dogs and a soda. He goes into the black-owned store. Asked the black owner. He wants 2 hot dogs and a soda. Black owner says, okay, that'll be $12. It is only then that black guy will have a problem and catch an attitude. You're charging too much. You need to give me a hookup. You need to do that. Only there will he. And the black owner is trying to make money just like everyone else. He's using the same hot dogs. He's using the same buns. He's using the same condiments. He's serving the same soda. Some just about those other guys' hot dogs taste better. That is the black community not taking each other seriously.
Did y'all hear about that girl who was like, I think she was 21 or 22. I believe this was Baltimore. I could be wrong. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I believe this was Baltimore. This happened maybe 2 years ago. She wanted to be able to compete. And this is another huge fucking complaint that the mammies have. Okay. And I'm going to get to that in a second. She wanted to be able to provide a black-owned hair supply business in Baltimore. 21 years old, educated, raised the money or had the money to open a brick and mortar. Do you guys have any fucking idea how hard that is? Do you guys have any idea how much money that takes? Okay. She was able to open a brick and mortar. Do you guys know how hard it is to make relationships with people in China if you're black? Okay. Do you guys know how hard that is? Okay. So she accomplished that at 21, 22 years old, and some nigga murdered her. See, this is why I can't, again, Ollie said that they don't take each other seriously. Well, at this point, like, how can any of us take them seriously? You don't protect y'all as a community, whether you're a fucking thug or not, you should be able to protect certain members of your community if you really respect the game. If you really respect the game, that girl would not be dead right now. But people don't really respect the game. There's no honor among thieves. There are no untouchables. There are no women or men or certain businesses that are being held in high regard. No, just kill everybody. Just kill every fucking body. Kill them all. Kill every fucking body and then blame the white cops. You know. But I will say this. For those of us who have been in the streets and in the roads and at the rallies, and for those of us who have seen the way the police have betrayed us, especially in 2020, I don't know if I even can back the blue. I do back the blue, but I don't know if I will be able to do so forever, you know. And one thing that was said to me by Mama Tina, whose son was killed by a cop, whose white son was killed by a cop, she said to me, she says, this is an issue that conservatives will never, ever take on. They have to be back the blue in order to get those union votes. They have to be back the blue. If they're not back the blue, they're not going to get them. And this is that elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. Is it possible that everything that Hispanics and Muslims and bikers and Black people complain about in regards to cops, is it possible that maybe it's true? Because they don't just kill Black people, they kill everybody. You know, and a lot of it is probably unwarranted. But I don't think the answer is ever going to be defund the police. I think the answer is figure out what these police need psychologically and try to fucking push money toward that. If you want to fucking push money anywhere, push money toward making sure that these motherfuckers with PTSD, just like every combat veteran, these motherfuckers with PTSD are not walking around trigger happy and who have the emotional intelligence to assess certain situations. So let's continue listening to Ollie. We're already at 1 hour and 33 minutes. He has, let's see, 18 through 2. Okay, so there's 14 more minutes. We're going to watch that, and then we're going to look at some of the comments that he got, and then we'll wrap it up.
Because, and he went on, and I have witnessed this firsthand because I have a quick check that literally across the street. I just walk outside. It's right there. It's owned by Jordanians. Okay. And he gave the example of, now say the Black guy catches that attitude with the Arab guy or the Korean guy or the white guy. They're going to tell him to get your, and these are his words, get your black ass out of my store and don't come back. And he said that could go down at 8 o'clock in the morning, before noon. That same black man will be back in that store begging him to take more of his money. So you got an obstacle here, okay? Trying to get through to him because a lot of times
the niggatry of it all
don't take
the
each other
niggatry
seriously.
Of it all.
They don't.
The niggatry, pure.
But he should be hearing these things from black men. He should. So I would suggest, if you're still talking to him, you know, I don't know what good it's even going to do. I would suggest to him watching some Kevin Samuels podcasts. They're all up on YouTube. Okay? And that'll give him a better example. Because what Kevin Samuels was doing was trying to tell black men, you need to raise your worth and not settle. You need to hold these women accountable And most of his podcasts are black women calling in like women exactly with the same mentality.
Facts.
As your grandmother,
Facts.
your auntie, maybe even your mother to a certain, I'm not sure. We haven't gotten that far. And putting them in check. These women who want high value, these black women who want a high value black man, okay, looking 200 pounds overweight, okay, 3 kids with 3 different people. Like, where is your value? And he just tells these women, where is your value? And if he watches that, maybe he will see in these women that Kevin Samuels is lighting up and a lot of times admitting, you're right. Yeah, you're right in her. That's the best advice I could give him as a young black guy, as a young black man, trying to overcome the queen bee, looking queen bee worker bees or future queen bees, okay, who are only valuing on sex.
And Ollie, you'll be proud of me on this one. They're looking for son husbands. They're looking for son husbands. And I've talked about this a couple months ago. It blew a lot of people's minds on this channel because they didn't really know about Electra complex and Oedipal complex. So this shit can be real, like on an emotional level, even if it's like no molesting or anything, like it'd still be real. You know, I know what it feels like. So, okay.
Money and what they can get out of the relationship. No. All I have to say about Kieran, he's autistic, but he's high functioning. He's not.
Actually, we'll stop right there. I shouldn't have clicked the screen off because, well, history. Let's look at. Okay, hold on. Let's look at the. Okay, let's look at the comments. Okay, so let's stop there, but let's look at the comments. Okay. Ollie, please don't use Kevin Samuels. Hold on, let me make this bigger. Wait, where's the comments? Motherfucker. Fuck. Wait, show more. Where's the comments? Fuck. There we go. All right, here we go. Ollie, please don't use Kevin Samuels as an example of a man showing how black men should be. He was disrespectful and toxic. I would never want my daughter or nephew to take advice from such an awful hypocrite. Maybe you can check the real story of him out. I do hope you continue to help people and keep the stories coming. They can be healing for the soul. Love you to you and Charlene. Replies. Do you watch Coach Greg Adams? I think he's got some good points about issues with marriage, but seems to have some narcissistic traits. He's a fan of Kevin Samuel and did a few videos on him when he died. Can you elaborate on how he was disrespectful and toxic? Just curious, not disputing you. He tells and Ollie says he tells people what they don't want to hear. He tells people what they don't want to hear. That's what Ollie said. I didn't say it. Ollie said it. Earth Goddess says at Marvalo Riddle, he was a black equivalent of Andrew Tate, who is half black, by the way. Unfortunately, not the black community doesn't have an abundance of male leaders. So instead of being banned by his fellow black men who have no power to ban, he was banned by reaping what he sowed. Black men can be pointed to look up to Neil deGrasse Tyson, even, not toxic wounded men who are operating on misogyny. Teresa says, Kevin Samuels was awesome, a little too hard sometimes, but he was good. And he was disrespectful and hard on the people that were entitled, spoiled, and plain awful with super high delusion. And they always insulted average men on average blue-collar workers that bothered him so much when he went in on them. They're not used to anyone sticking up. Usually Entitled, horrible females get away with it. And he didn't let that happen. So outraged happened. And I say, good for him. They need a swift kick of reality. And how dare them, always insulting the average man. Fuck yeah. Savage. Mic drop. That's exactly it, Teresa Smith. Ollie, you should pin this comment. You should pin this. Teresa hit the nail on the head. That's how I feel. But the thing is, you know, a lot of it was, and I think with Andrew Tate as well, a lot of it is for entertainment value. The more they can push it, the more viral that shit goes. Your average, hold on a second. All right. You're average at best. You're average at best. Can't make this shit up. Can't make this shit up. Okay. Let's see. Kevin Samuels died. Oh no, I loved watching him. He was really helping the Black community find their center, strength, and self-respect again. They have been so abused, manipulated, and misled by our government for decades. Sad what's been done to them. Hell yeah. Hells yes. Okay. Ollie, Rapunzel says, hasn't Rapunzel been fucking trolling Ollie for like years? Do I have the wrong person? I don't want to disparage anyone. Disparage. Oh, Lawrence in the house. Hey, Lawrence. I got your chips. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. I got your chips. Got your chips from your donation. I got your chips. Got your name on it. Okay. Lawrence. Okay. Tony Montana. Okay. Let's see what else. Stupid ass comments. Can't make this shit up. Ollie, you know who you're promoting? As you mentioned him, I just watched a video featuring Kevin Samuels counseling, grooming a single mother who has a daughter in the comment below. It was deeply disturbing. And then she's got everything, whatever. That's an edited, and Ollie says that's an edited clip taken out of context. KS had an army of haters taking his video out of context. Find the raw footage, and I'm sure it tells a different story. Savage. Exactly. Hell yeah. Okay. I'm always deeply grateful for how you help us stay safe. Another facts on facts video in the vault. Exactly. Families are useless if they don't take care and value one another. That person needs to get away. Ollie, Kevin Samuels gave a 22-year-old Black woman the middle finger for wanting a man who's made more than her father, and called another young woman a bitch for simply disagreeing with him. Oh, clutch my pearls. Clutch my pearls. Oh my God. He called her a bitch and gave her the finger. On YouTube? On Instagram? Can't make this shit up. Really? That's it? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Kevin Samuels also said that children always lie about being chestered, and the women should stop always choosing their men over their children, even if he's abusive. Uncle Kevin also promoted slapping Black women for not obeying, There's way more than that. I caution you promoting him unless you agree with those ideologies. Oracle, shut up. In the Black community, no one is allowed to talk negatively about the Black male, but disparaging the Black female is celebrated, excused, and discouraged. I don't encourage. No, I don't think that. I don't think that, Oracle Reloaded. I don't think that. I can tell you that I think Black women have been shown way more forgiveness for their behavior, their violent fucking behavior, than Black men ever will be. I think that. I think Black women have successfully infiltrated every industry that they really want to infiltrate if they're educated and they're good at what they do. But the proof is in the pudding, and the only ones who get degraded are the ones who fuck up. A lot of Black women have imposter syndrome. They're always trying to be something they're not, have something they don't have. And I think that's what Kevin Samuels was good at pointing out. He just didn't point it out in a way that people liked. You know, the thing is, and this is why I kind of stopped watching him at a certain point. If you're like me and you've made a lot of mistakes in your life, a lot of bad life choices, a lot of bad family dynamics, you know, just not the type of woman that a 6-figure, 6-pack, 6'6" dude is going to want. Okay. I'm not that girl. Okay. I'm a blue collar. I was a single mom. Like, I'm just like, let me do some hard physical labor so I can go into autopilot because I have CPTSD and I got all kinds of issues and shit. Let me just go into autopilot and just have like a nice physical job where if I show up drunk or high, so be it. I could still do my job in my sleep because I'm that good at it. Like, let me just have some simple shit to do. Okay. Because I can't deal with nothing too heavy hitting. Even this channel and the TikToks and the videos and the Twitter, that shit is in the website and the podcast. Like, that shit is a lot of work. Okay. Not everybody is fit for certain types of other individuals. Okay. There are very, very selective men of influence and men of high value that are much more picky in terms of settling down with women than the type of women that call into Kevin Samuels' show. And the thing is, I would think if they were calling, did they really think they'd be able to one-up him in any of the arguments that they present about why their lives are the way that their lives are? And so the reason I stopped listening to Kevin Samuels for a short amount of time was because my self-esteem just got real fucking low. Like, it did. My self-esteem got so low. And I was like, okay, I need to ground I need to center myself. I need to just get back to like getting focused and getting help and just doing all the things that I do to try to, you know, make life work in a better fashion than it has worked for the past 3 decades. Oh, you said it was a false allegation? Yeah, somebody's in their fifis. Exactly. The girls that I know, the women that I know, whether they've have as many past life mistakes as I have, or whether, you know, maybe they married somebody young and it wasn't a good fit, you know, maybe things got abusive, they left. Not all women who have the issues that Kevin Samuels says that they have, not all of them are like that fucked up. You know, like some of them are very level-headed and self-aware and like, you know, moving forward with shit. The thing is, I think a lot of why women were hurt is because they were conflating what they wanted in a high value man with what they truly, truly, truly needed, which was a reality check. And Kevin Samuels as a brand has been able to successfully do that. And they can argue it at any point. They can be mad at any point. Like, that's fine. Do that. Be mad. But if you don't read between the lines and have enough humility in your heart and humility in your soul to say, you know what? I've never looked at myself this way, but I can see how. And if you can if this is only as far as you can fucking go, if you could at least admit to yourself, I could see how men would see me this way. So for me, that was a huge breakthrough for me. It wasn't about how I saw myself. It was about humbling my ideas and humbling my preconceived notions low enough to say, well, even if I don't see myself this way, maybe it could be read as this woman being toxic, or this woman being codependent, or this woman being needy, or this woman having abandonment issues, or whatever I was projecting. Maybe, even though I didn't know it, maybe I didn't know that I was coming off that way. So if you could at least like lower your guard and open your heart to at least seeing it that way, just for I don't know, 6 months or a year or 2 years. If you could really, really get self-aware and say, okay, you know what? Getting drunk like that is not cute. You know what? Talking to a man like that is not cute. You know what? And this isn't me, because I'm a chef. I'm not just going to fix my man's plate. I'm going to fix everybody's plate. Because this is what I fucking do. Okay? This is what I fucking do. Maybe I shouldn't argue about who serves who, and just do something out of the kindness of my heart to show some appreciation instead of arguing. If you could at least open your mind to those few questions, it'll really, really change your love life. It'll really, really help you a lot. And then you'll naturally attract someone who's safe instead of someone who's predatory. And you can break this codependency cycle. And you can break this borderline personality disorder cycle. You got to take it to the next step. So anyway, I thought that was interesting how Ollie Matthews was getting his fucking rights read to him by the bitches who are like, no, Kevin Samuels is negative. But the thing is, if you go back into his old content before he blew up, he was ripping the niggas a new one. There we go. I remember him making a video telling niggas how to get a loofah and scrub they ass. And he said, don't put it on your face after that either. Can't make this shit up. Can't make this shit up. He used to go in on niggas for a long time. It's just going in on the women is what blew him up. So again, like Ollie Matthews said, the accountability issue, people in the community don't want to listen to each other. And they don't want to listen to old school wisdom either. But if you really think about it, as far as the boomer generation is concerned, and Ollie, I'll make you proud. As far as the boomer generation is concerned, they're the ones who planted all that seeds, planted all those seeds of, oh, white man this, the white man that, boss man this, boss lady that white woman this, that's white woman that. Like there's a word where you can it's called imprinting in terms of child development. There's a word called imprinting. That generation, that boomer generation, imprinted the seeds of victimhood into all the generations after, just because they had been through it. But it created this family dynamic where every Black family's identity, where almost every Black family's identity revolves around hating the white man and being cautious of the white man and being scared of the white man, but then also having this, inability to get off the fucking dick of the white man as well. Complete inability to say, we don't want the welfare money. We don't want the food stamps. We don't want the Section 8. You're not breaking up our families. We don't want the fucking drugs. Okay? You're not going to destroy our communities with violence and homelessness and prostitution. No one ever said that. Oh, well, Black Wall Street, Black Wall Street, Black Wall Street. Okay, cool. What else? What else did y'all build that the white man destroyed? Now, I will admit, I listened to a podcast last night about Black coding, which we will talk about. But none of that shit is happening right now. So what continues to be the excuse? I don't understand. You got first Black astronaut, you got first Black CEO, first Black billionaire, first Black heart surgeon, first Black inventor of this, first Black inventor of that. You got all this shit. And yet nobody's inspired enough to make that the culture. Now, I know Asians be poor too, okay? Asians be poor as fuck. There's certain countries Asians are really, really, really fucking poor, okay? China, one of them. But when they come here, they beat the shit out of their kids for not getting good grades. Indian families, isn't it true that Indian Americans make more money than even white Americans do collectively? Isn't that? Can someone look that up for me, please? I'm pretty sure Indian Americans, Punjabis, okay, they're the ones. They beat if your kid is not an engineer or a doctor, they beat they beat the shit out of you. Pakistani, my cousin is Pakistani. A lot of y'all don't know what my ethnic makeup is, and I ain't gonna tell you. I'm just gonna leave you guessing. Okay, a lot of y'all don't know what I have a cousin who's fucking Pakistani. She became a social worker. Pretty sure she was a social worker. Oh God. Fucking black sheep of the family. Black sheep of the fucking family. If you don't, man, I'm telling you. Let's get some black and proud culture like that. Where, listen, little nigga, if you ain't gonna be a carpenter, an electrician, a plumber, an entrepreneur, a junior, if not executive level manager, if you're not going to start some successful shit on your own, nigga, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. That should be what the community wants to aspire to, right? I'm just saying. False allegation. Okay, no, let's see. Okay. Especially in Silicon Valley. Exactly. Yep. Jenny is reptilian. I love that. Hey, let me screenshot that shit real quick. Screenshot. Jenny is reptilian. You know I am. Okay. Capture. Okay. I screenshot shit that I like. Trust me. Y'all don't know. Okay. So we're at 2 hours now. Let's get these donations in. I do not foresee live streaming again tonight. It's September 2nd. My birthday is September 4th, guys. We got to get some fucking money in. Let's go. All right. We need to get some money in. All right. It's time. Okay. So last but not least, www.defendzach.com. Go make sure you go watch Ollie Matthews over on the Refuge from Narcissism. And thank y'all for being with me tonight. Appreciate it. Getting to see all versions. Get to see it in its raw form. We didn't have any interruptions tonight on the internet. That was a good thing. It did not freeze once. That's a good thing. And all the roommates are in the house using devices, and it didn't freeze once. That's a good thing. Okay. Guys, make sure you get your donations in. Good night. Stand tall and stay base.